What's up, and welcome to the Los Wise Guys podcast. I'm your host, Aslam, aka Rock God of the Sun. Yeah, damn.
Accompanied by Papa Sun Killer,
Accompanied with,
aka I said it backwards just like I did last week, but I don't give a fuck because that's my real name now, Papa Sun Killer.
yeah.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Man, I guess, yeah, so I was, I
I
was
guess
out,
yes.
I was out, what, 1 week because of
Yeah,
COVID, and I
yeah,
can't speak no more.
yeah,
Hopefully, I can speak for the rest of this podcast, but what's up,
yeah.
everybody? How's it going? We about to, talk about Summer Games Fest, Summer Games Mess, Summer of Gaming, all
All
the
of it.
gaming announcements, at least the ones that we enjoyed the
Mhm.
most that we want to actually highlight. So we're gonna go into that.
I might talk a little shit. I might talk a little
Yeah,
shit
I
about some
mean,
of this
of
stuff. Okay,
course, of course, we're gonna talk a little shit. We're
okay,
Los Wise guys, bro. We
that's what we
always
do.
talk shit. So, summer of gaming is upon us. We had all of them, just within
All of it.
3 4 days.
All
All
yeah,
of them.
and I miss it. I miss it, Aslam,
I
because
don't.
I see. But this is what I wanted back during this when it used to be referred to as E3. I guess it's
Mhm.
still E3 season, but it's just not
Yeah,
E3. But
E3's
E3,
dead. That's my opinion.
it,
E3's
it
dead.
very well could
It's
be.
dead and
It
gone.
very well could be.
Bury that shit in your backyard.
That's a lot to bury. But E3 for us who are not like in the industry or media or anything like
Yeah,
that was like here's like a week or beginning of a week or a weekend what have you,
yeah.
where you watch the different conferences. They are pitted against each other. You have the big three in the console, developers, and
Hmm.
you have the other people who are just like the third party publishers going out there just giving their all. And then afterward was the actual E3
Yeah,
event where people go out there, try the games, do everything. That, like Islam said, is gone.
yeah,
So now we have Summer Game Fest. And when Summer Game Fest first started, it was just like, here's Summer Game Fest. And it lasted a fucking year and a half. That wasn't a
yeah.
summer. And it just kept going. And then it's just like they kind of made it smaller and smaller until finally, here's like what, like 3 4 days maybe? And
Yeah,
then
I
boom.
don't know if I like that it's three,
I
4 days.
loved it.
Now, I
Fucking
understand the
loved
whole 3 4 days model when it was in person.
it. Hmm.
You got 3 4 days, everybody was there. You come in, they had, it's kind of like a games Comic Con.
Yeah.
And now that it's like online, I'm sure we see we see people there, and
Yeah.
maybe because people are there again
This is
live,
the year
that
that's
it's
transitioning back to live.
yeah. So maybe that's why it was 3 4 days again. But I
Yeah.
enjoyed it when it was a little bit more spread out. It just gives me a little more time to like watch it, and then like we talk about it, and then like we keep
Yeah.
going. But like all this, I just don't have that kind of time anymore to like watch all. Even though I found the time to actually,
Yeah.
because I watched it while I was working, but
But like
watching all the showcases
how many showcases would you say there were this year? Like overall?
from the ones that I know from like Summer Games Fest. I
Yeah.
don't know. Let's go on their website and see. Um,
Because that's the my issue with it is we didn't have overlap. The past few years we had overlap. Like
like
I
on the
guarantee
same time.
no, I'm talking the same exact trailer, the same exact video shown on multiple
Oh,
different things.
okay,
That's a
okay.
waste of fucking time.
Yes, yes, yes,
That's
yes.
something like there was a little
Well,
bit of
here,
overlap this year,
like,
but not that
let's say,
bad.
like in Summer Games Fest, announced games that were going to be in other showcases, but the other showcases showed like gameplay, showed like more in depth stuff with the developers.
For the
Like,
most
so,
part, yes, they did that.
yeah,
There were some that legit was just like, "Hey, you already saw this. Let's
yeah,
watch it again." I
yeah.
was like, "Why are we doing that?"
So, so they had three showcases on the same date, right? June 8th, you had the Summer Game Fest showcase, you had the Day of the Devs,
Mhm,
and then you had Devolver Digital,
mhm,
talking about Volvi, which was just ridiculous. Um, and then you had June 9th, which you had the Tribeca Game Spotlight. June 10th, you had uh, Indie Games Wholesome Direct.
mhm,
You had OTK Games Expo. I didn't watch either of those.
mhm.
I did watch
Wholesome was
Future
enjoyable.
I watched Future Games Summer Showcase
Mhm.
on June 10th, and then you had the June 11th the Xbox Games Showcase with the Starfield Direct.
Mhm.
June 11th was the PC Gaming Show. I did not watch that.
It was
June
rough. I
12th,
couldn't finish it.
yeah, June 12th was the Ubisoft Forward. I watched that, and then also Capcom Showcase. I watched that. June 13th, you had Dames for Games. I didn't watch that. June 13th, you had Black Voices in Gaming. Um, I didn't watch that either. Then
Mhm.
you had June 13th, also Xbox Showcase Extended.
Yeah.
I didn't watch that. You had your chance. I'm not going back.
What the hell does that?
I'm not going back
What
to
the
watch
fuck
the
is
second
that?
showcase.
You had
That's
your
ridiculous.
chance.
Yeah, you had your
The,
chance. You had your time for me to watch everything you had. I watched your showcase plus the Starfield Direct, which was like a little bit after the showcase or
yeah,
just
the
the next day.
extended was what you said. It's they took the same exact games
Hmm.
and they just elaborated on them. That's all
Nah,
the
you should have
extended
just done it
was.
on the same day. Fuck you,
No,
Xbox.
fuck you, Aslav. That's the worst decision ever. Let's
Nah,
be
nah.
real. Let's be real. I don't know if you're gonna agree or not, but
Hmm.
I'm correct. I don't have to, regardless if anybody disagrees or not. The best showcase this year was the Xbox showcase, easily. So it
Yeah, I
easily.
guess. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, do not fucking change that at all. Like I don't know if they've ever had a showcase that good.
And then the last showcase, which is on the 29th, I guess, the Annapurna Interactive Showcase.
Oh, that's right, Annapurna.
Yeah.
Forgot about that one.
So
See, it's still too spread out.
we
It's
did.
still
Did
too
we
spread
get
out.
a no? We got Ubisoft. What's the other one? Bethesda. That's Xbox. Never
Yeah,
mind.
that's Xbox.
Yeah.
There was no Square Enix one this year,
No, right. No Square Enix.
but Square Enix was very present.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So those are all your showcases that happened
Mhm.
so far. We'll probably get more throughout the summer. Um, and this all started with like the the PS5 showcase.
Yeah, the
Before
PlayStation
all
one.
this, yeah,
Which yeah, PlayStation's been doing that
yeah,
ever since the whole they don't need E3 thing. They would
yeah.
always
So
show
they
up like a
literally
little
just
bit
do it
before.
before it, and then everybody else. So I feel like, and I could be wrong, but my opinion as like a non-gamer gamer. Um,
You're still a lot more knowledgeable than most gamers, like by far.
um, I feel like the PlayStation Showcase kind of sets the tone for the rest,
Mm.
and like the PlayStation Showcase was meh,
Yeah,
you know, and then I felt like going into like Summer Games Fest, most of this was like also kind of meh. Um, they showed games that we know were coming out, or like I don't feel like I was surprised by anything.
I mean they started off with a surprise.
For
Prince
what?
of Persia. Nobody knew that was actually happening.
Sure, but it's like I'm not like the biggest Prince of Persia fan, so like
Oh
it
yeah, me
didn't blow
neither.
my mind. It's the same thing like Metal Gear Solid with Xbox. Like I know
The-
that was huge, but again, I'm not a Metal Gear Solid fan. I wasn't a gamer back then, so that didn't matter to me.
So the way I watch this is how I
Yeah.
watch professional wrestling, where
Okay.
it's so much. I've gotten past the whole I like this guy, I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the thing as a whole. So
Yeah.
it's like I've never played Metal Gear Solid. When Metal Gear Solid showed up, I was losing my shit. I was like, "Fuck yeah, it's here."
Yeah.
I've never touched a goddamn Metal Gear Solid,
I
but
haven't gotten to that point yet. I haven't played enough games to get to that point yet.
and I'm gonna tell you the same exact thing I tell the people when it comes to wrestling. Not everybody reaches that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like
Yeah,
in
yeah, and it's
wrestling,
fine. Yeah.
yeah, and it's like when I watch wrestling, it's like it doesn't matter if you're a good guy, bad guy. I don't. I'm. It's a good match. You gave a really good promo. You did a
Hmm.
certain thing here a specific way. The same exact way I'm looking at these press conferences. Like Jeff Keighley
Honestly,
presentation was fucking phenomenal.
yeah, he did good. I liked his
Yeah,
outfit this year. Actually, it wasn't bad.
most
Like
people do. Most people do.
his sneakers with like the one time he came out with like a fucking tuxedo jacket with like white sneakers, and I
It's
was like,
so
what the
common.
fuck?
Like
What the
it's
fuck?
so
With
common.
the
It's fun.
tuxedo jacket? That's
Yes.
wild. That's wild. All those people should go to jail. What do you think this is? The Met Gala?
Oh, oh, that's all I'm
Wink,
saying.
wink.
That's all I'm saying. Watch us next time. We're doing some games here.
Next year, people. Next year. Stay tuned.
But
Yeah. So his outfit was alright, but now I don't care about the showcase as a whole.
mhm.
I care about like specific games that are showcased.
Yeah,
So it
as
was
you should,
is the
honestly.
game that was showcased good? Does it look interesting? Is it an interesting concept? Is it a new concept? Is like all this stuff, and the games that we're going to talk about now that we kind of highlight are going to highlight are that for me. It's like the games we thought are that were most interesting, and then we have like honorable mentions where I thought their concept was very interesting that I kind of just wanted to mention them real quick, and then kind of hope that they get like that they're actually good games by the time they come out like next year and stuff. Like a lot of these were just little trailers or not many in engine like you know like trailers or whatever, or like gameplay, but that's besides the point. Whatever. Uh,
One thing I do want to do, which we did do for the PlayStation One,
mhm,
and just because it's the way I look at it,
mhm.
I would very much like to rank,
Okay.
rank or rate both. The not rank, just rate the different showcases like we did. I remember I gave PlayStation a 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay. I don't. Well, actually, I have the showcases like everything that was announced in each showcase, so
Mhm.
I guess I can kind of like look at them again and
Yeah.
um
See, I review it as
rate
the
them.
showcase as a whole, as opposed to the game. So I know we have like different rating scales. That's why I'm very curious to
Yeah,
see what
yeah.
you give
Okay.
it.
All right. Well, I'll go check out the games again that were in each showcase after we talk about this, and
Yeah,
we'll rate them at the end once we're done talking. All right.
yeah,
Let's get into these
let's
games.
do
We'll
it.
start out with Summer Games Fest since it was the first one. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of the games that was announced. I feel like that was this is a full remake, right?
This is the sequel to
Oh,
the
this is a
remake.
sequel to the remake. Okay,
Yeah, because
Jesus
Final
Christ.
Fantasy
Okay,
VII
whatever.
was the remake, and Final Fantasy Rebirth is the sequel to the remake.
So there was Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VII
Oh,
remake.
that's love. No,
Yeah.
there's like 8 other games that we're not talking about here.
No, no, no. I'm not talking. I'm just talking about the seven.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am
So
too.
there's. Oh Jesus. Okay. I'm so confused right now. But okay.
Don't
I
worry
thought.
about it. So for just we're not gonna get into it. If you're a Final Fantasy fan, I understand. Just let it go. So yes, there is an original Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
excluding all the other games. Years later, they made a Final Fantasy VII remake.
Which is that
Uh,
original game but remade
exactly, and now Rebirth is the sequel. Now the
to that
reason
game.
why, yeah, and
Yeah.
now the first Final Fantasy VII,
Hmm.
huge game. It was on 3 discs on PlayStation One.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah. So hence this being a lot bigger. And they made Final Fantasy VII Remake. That one game was bigger than the 3 disc PlayStation 1 version.
Okay.
And that's literally just like the first chapter of the entire game was in remake. So they got a
Wow.
long ways to go.
Wow.
So yeah, so we're doing that. And the cool thing with Final Fantasy is that it's a remake,
So
yes,
this
but
is
it's
still
told
the same
differently.
story as the original Final Fantasy VII, just like Chapter Two.
Sort of. Because
Okay.
it's not the same exact story. They did so if you're a fan of Final Fantasy VII, which I never fully finished the
Yeah.
original, they change a lot of things and like major things. So it's
Okay.
like it's a retelling of the story, but in a different universe. And then
Okay.
that's why people are like,
See,
"Fuck,
I can
what is happening
understand that.
next?"
Yeah, yeah, I can understand. The multiverse, I can understand. Just tell me
Yeah,
that, and I completely know what's going on now.
yeah. Well, I mean, that's still not talking about like Final Fantasy, like Ever Crisis, which is coming out 7.
Yeah.
Then you have Final Fantasy like the Scourge or
Yeah,
Dirge or
but
whatever the
okay,
fuck it is.
it's all
There's like
within the
so many.
multiverse of Final Fantasy
Well, no,
VII.
all that is one universe. There's 2 universes.
Okay,
Yeah,
sure, still a multiverse.
yeah, yeah.
Um, all right, sounds good. So your takes on this game, I guess, because I don't know much about Final Fantasy VII. I know the name Cloud, and I know that
He's the
sword.
main guy.
Yeah,
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 the Buster Sword.
yeah.
I loved remake. It's the first Final Fantasy game I ever cared about was Final
Okay.
Fantasy VII remake. Enough to the point that it made me go back and play the OG Final
Hmm.
Fantasy VII just to see what the differences were. I never finished it because it's hard with the old graphics and stuff, and
Yeah,
it's a PlayStation One game,
yeah, yeah.
so
That's wild.
it's a little rough, but I mean I fucking love that game. For sure
Nice.
was a game of the year contender that year,
Hmm.
and I mean Jeff knew he had it like when he
Okay.
put this as the last thing, and he kept on like teasing it throughout the night. One of my favorite things he did is when they showed off Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is another remake of this. So I guess that's a third universe. No, it's a remake of the first. It's a whole thing.
Hmm.
So there's Ever Crisis, and then afterward, he's like, speaking of Final Fantasy, and everybody lost their shit. And he's like, no, 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 not that, not that. We have we have this DoorDash thing where if you get a taco, you get a free taco
Yeah,
or
I
a free
remember that.
burrito.
Yeah, yeah,
I was like, that was fucking perfect because he knew he had this. You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So when this was revealed, it was amazing. I can't wait.
And it's coming out
Very
next
much.
year, right?
It should be coming out next year.
Yeah.
And one major difference is they show a character that looks like she's dying in this one.
Hmm.
Never died in the original. There's actually a different
Oh,
character that died in the original who doesn't look like she's dying this time. Like I
yeah.
said, they're switching shit around and nobody knows what the fuck is happening.
Nice,
So
nice.
it's a
Okay.
pretty cool idea.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, let's jump on to the next one. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. Now I remember Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. I mean, I never played it. I just remember like that game being super popular, and I guess the Prince of Persia games in general. I guess this seems like a very interesting. Like, what is this? A prequel?
No fucking idea. I'm not a Prince of Persia guy at all.
Okay. But I guess like the time powers are still there. The sand, yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, I don't know much about like the Prince of Persia like gaming universe, but I knew it was popular as fuck.
So
And this looks interesting. Like it's is it still a side scroller? Like what was Prince of Persia? Like a Metroidvania side scroller? Like what?
that's what this is, but
Oh.
as far as my understanding is, the other stuff was not. So
Oh.
this is like a tale of two reactions, where you have some people who saw this are like, this is what they wanted. This is,
Yeah.
it's more up to date music.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a side scrolling Metroidvania. It's like, it looks cool. It's stylish. And
Okay.
then you have other people who are like, this is not Prince of Persia. Fuck this game. So it's
Yeah.
like, it's a lot of different people. Like, for me, somebody who's not really a fan of this franchise,
Hmm.
looking at it, it looks great. It looks like it can be very successful.
That
It,
definitely has an interesting art style.
yeah, and it looks like it's a great way for new fans to jump in and old fans to hate play it, I guess, if anything.
I guess, yeah.
So it's like, honestly, I think it's gonna be one of those games where people pick it up and they're like, "This is a Prince of Persia." And it's like, "But yeah, but I'm gonna play the whole thing though." So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, you know, so I don't know. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
If I don't know if it's a, I doubt it's a Game Pass thing, but if it ever is like in one of those type of things, I'll give it a shot there.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Mortal Kombat 1. Now, you guys last week talked about this, like the 30 years of Mortal Kombat. But I guess it's such a big game that we'll discuss it a little bit real
Yeah,
quick.
just a little bit. Yeah. Islam, I mean, what's your take on Mortal Kombat?
I mean, I love the story.
Mhm,
Now, I never played the other video games, and what you've told me of the story that they've built through them, like
mhm,
the last couple of games, was very interesting. Loved the Mortal Kombat movie that came out like a couple years back on HBO Max, and we have a sequel coming. I don't know when because everything's delayed because of the writer's strike.
mhm,
But I'm looking forward to it. The game wise, I don't know if I'm actually gonna play this game. I haven't played like that type of fighting game like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, like any of those fighting games in a long time. But you never know. I might pick this up or play it if it's interesting enough. You know what
mhm.
I mean? I know you're excited about this.
I can't wait. This is like one of my most anticipated games
Yeah, yeah.
of the fucking decade. So it's
Hmm.
like, I love Mortal Kombat. I've always loved the story. I can't wait. One thing I did want to mention last week, and I was literally for an entire week, I was like, "You piece of shit."
Hmm.
Um, there is officially a John Claude Van Damme skin in the game for Johnny Cage, which is
Nice.
perfect because that's
Yeah.
who Johnny Cage was originally supposed to be. The Mortal Kombat was supposed to be John Claude Van Damme, the video game, and
Yeah.
then they couldn't
Oh,
get him
nice.
for the game, and they're like, let's do some other stuff. Let's make a Hollywood character who's kind of like a smartass. Let's call
Yeah.
him Johnny Cage. And now, after 30 years, they actually legit came to an agreement with Jean Claude Van Damme. So now he's a skin for Johnny in the game. That's
Nice. Nice.
Other than that, can't wait for the game. It's going to look phenomenal. I already pre-ordered it. Like, I mean,
Nice.
I'm there. I mean, as soon as that beta opens up, if I can get in, I'm doing it. You know.
Very cool. Yeah, man. Mortal Kombat 1. It's kind of like a restarting of the universe. If you
Yep.
haven't
That's
checked
a little
out the
reboot.
trailers yet. Somehow Liu Kang got the powers of Raiden. I still saw Raiden in there, which was pretty cool, like a
Yeah,
younger Raiden.
he's no longer a god.
Yeah, but he still
Yeah.
has his like thunder powers,
Yeah, no,
which
he's
is
still
really cool.
yeah, he still has lightning because like even Liu Kang, like he had fire before he
Yeah,
was ever a god. So
yeah, yeah.
it's like, yeah, in Mortal Kombat 11 they show how it happened
Hmm.
in the story, like what happened there. But yeah, man,
Nice, nice.
can't fucking wait.
Very cool. I thought like I thought Raiden like died, and he wasn't even in this universe anymore. But I'm glad to see him back, which is
Yeah, it was a
very
whole
cool.
multiverse thing that
Yeah,
like went in and they kind of like went in depth and decisions were made.
nice, nice.
Yeah,
All right, Alan Wake 2. Never played the first one. I saw the gameplay of they showed of the second one. It looks like a very interesting game. God, I hope it does amazing. For the LWGF FGL. I need those points, baby. Let's go, Alan Wake 2.
yeah, it's everybody I've been listening to or watching or whatever has had the same reaction. Never really cared for the first Alan Wake. Saw this, looks phenomenal. Can't wait to play it. From what they've seen, one of the most anticipated games of the year.
Nice, nice.
Every day I think about the bad decision that was made in counterpicking Alan Wake 2 for the LWG FEGLS 3.
Yeah,
And I just knew it in my heart of fucking hearts that
that
this
it
game
wasn't
wasn't
coming out.
coming out.
I mean,
Like,
your logic made a lot of sense because you were
yeah,
like, there was no gameplay at all for it. They just said it was like coming out. You didn't expect it coming out this year,
yeah,
and they kind of just surprised everybody with
yeah,
gameplay. It looks great,
yeah.
and it's coming out
Uh,
some point this year. I forget, in like October or something.
Yeah, it's in October. And that's my thing. My thing is like it's close enough to the end of the year where it's
Where
just
it
like
could still
maybe,
get,
just maybe push
yeah,
it into 2024. I
yeah.
mean, Phil,
That's what I'm hoping for Lies
yeah,
of P. Same thing on my end.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
But
Lies of P's, and we'll get to that in a second. But
yeah,
uh,
but that's the thing. So real quick, Phil Spencer, I know you go out. I know you listen to podcasts. You like to keep your finger on the pulse, as
yeah.
they say. And just think about Redfall. Think about what happened there. Maybe if you took a little bit more time, it would have been a little bit better. It wouldn't have fucked me over on points there. But that's neither here nor there. What if Alan Wake just needs a little bit more time? What
Eh,
if we could just push it to 2024? Because I mean,
mm.
is it going to win Game of the Year this year? Probably not.
I mean,
Probably
not
it
when
won't.
Zelda came out.
Exactly.
Like
But what
when
about next year?
no
What
game is
about next
winning
year?
Game of the Year when Zelda Tears of the Kingdom came out.
Yeah,
Like,
but
come
it's
on.
like, I mean, maybe this one will. Who's to say
Nah,
Final
nah,
Fantasy
chill.
VII Rebirth is actually going to come out next year? We don't know. We don't know.
I
Alan
mean,
Wake
Final
2 slide
Fantasy
in
16 is definitely going to be a contender for Game of
for
the
this
Year.
year. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah,
talking about 7 Rebirth for next
yeah,
year.
yeah. No,
Is it
no,
actually
it's
happening? We don't
no.
know.
It's good. Alan Wake 2 is coming out this year. It'll be fine. Um, it'll do good. It'll knock you down some
Phil, all
points.
I'm saying is don't
Listen,
make
Phil, don't
mistakes.
don't
Don't make
don't listen to
mistakes.
him. You're doing a great job at Xbox. It was the gaming studio who didn't want to do this game that kind of messed it up. So they should have
No, I
wanted
mean,
to do the game. We're not gonna
there's
get
more
into
to
the
it.
nitty
There's more
gritty
to
of
it.
this.
I'm just saying, just push it.
Nah, don't push
Just
it.
delay it.
Yeah, push it good. Push it real good. All right, Banishers of no Banishers Ghost of Eden,
Look at
New
Disco,
Eden.
New Eden. Look at
Damn, I
Disco.
can't even read. Uh, the reason why I had this game on here is because Disco just somehow snuck himself into a video game. I don't know how the fuck he did it, but he did it.
Yeah,
Um, and he looks fantastic. He
he
actually
looks
dresses
amazing.
like this in real life too. Like he
He
always
does.
has all this shit on
He
him.
has a torch
Yeah,
everywhere he
he
goes.
has a torch. He always has like multiple like I guess like knives and like
Yeah,
what is that, a slingshot and
yeah,
like all this shit and but Banishers Ghosts of New Eden.
looks
I
good.
like the concept of this game.
Hmm.
It just looks very interesting. There's a relationship between this man and this woman, and maybe that's his wife. And I don't know if he's trying to get her back to life or like kind of lead her, but like they're fighting other ghosts. They're using these powers. It's very cool. I don't know. I hope it becomes it's a really good game. It is coming out this year, and it's like a very interesting concept. It kind of reminds me of like the Lord of the Rings game, with
Yeah,
the
Shadow of
elf.
Mordor, Shadow
Yeah.
of War. Yeah,
So it kind of reminds me, like it has that kind of vibe to it. Um, but yeah, no, I'm looking forward to this game also because I picked it up on the LWGF EGL S3. So hoping that shit does good.
when
Let's
does this
go.
come out?
It is coming out end of 2023.
Oh, this shit ain't coming out. So,
It's
it
coming out.
looks great. I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But
Yeah.
it looks good. It's made by Don't Nod, which I'm very excited about. Don't
Yeah.
Nod does one of my favorite franchises now, the Life is Strange stuff,
Yes.
and they're very good at narrative focus game, like
Mhm.
walking simulator and narrative focus. This is an action game. This
Yeah.
has shades of God of War in it. It's like an
Nice.
action adventure when
Yeah.
you look at the gameplay. So I don't know if they've done games like that before. As far as I know,
I
I haven't
looked
seen
at
them.
their games. They're doing Just Stand too. They have like three games
I'm sorry,
coming
they're
out.
doing what?
There's this other game called Jusant.
Oh yeah. I forgot about that one. I
Yeah,
remember the
that
name.
one's also coming out, and then there's one more that they're also doing.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, I'm very hopeful that this will come out
yeah. I'm,
because
I'm
I'm
sure it's
I'm
gonna
pe-
have a great story for sure.
I
I
mean
know
it
that.
said I checked the LWGFVGL. It said end of 23, but I thought they announced an actual date. That's why I picked it
No,
up. No, they didn't.
No, I'm sure they didn't. I didn't know if it was 2023 or if it was like a coming soon type thing. That's why I
Oh, okay.
asked you, but I know that there wasn't a date.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I hope it still comes out. So,
Maybe I should counterpick that. I don't know. We'll see.
hey, you can. You
I
sure you
know.
want to counterpick another game that's gonna do great?
I mean, I'm not trying to counterpick any of your games.
Okay, cool. That would be
Yeah.
fantastic.
I mean,
Thank
if
you.
I have to, I will, but I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not my goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, sir.
No problem.
You already counterpicked one, anyways.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
you have enough counterpicks against you. I don't want to go after you.
Trying to spread the love.
That's the whole objective. You got to look at who needs to get counterpicks, who needs to be knocked down a peg, and
Yeah.
you got to go after that.
Okay. I'm
Yeah,
down for that. Get Rudy.
maybe.
Yeah.
I only have one game counterpicked against me. Again, going against me makes sense if you got the balls for it.
Yeah, and that was me. So,
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
Yeah. Hades 2 ain't coming out, baby.
probably
They
won't, but we'll see. If it does, you're
they
fucked.
said, yeah, I know I am. We're all fucked at this point. We all
I
picked
know.
out great like
Except
games.
for the idiot who fucking decided he was going to pick up Rock City, and
Yeah.
of course that's the first counter pick because anybody would fucking like. I mean, Walter just knew, and I was like,
Yeah.
God damn it! If I was in that spot, because Rudy's dumbass decided he wanted to pick up Rock City.
No, because they said that it was coming out later this summer.
Hmm.
The what's it called? The early access. And if it's coming out later this summer, we already started summer.
Hmm.
If it's coming out later this summer, I doubt they're gonna finish early access and release a full game. Especially,
You sure the
especially,
Hades 2 game hasn't already been in
especially.
early access?
No, not that I know of. It said later
Oh,
this summer, early
okay.
access. Is it already in early access?
Oh, I'm just saying.
Nah, I looked at
It
it.
could be. I don't
Okay,
know. Is Alan
whatever,
Wake
bro.
2 getting pushed? Who knows?
Now I know you're just fucking with me. No, they said later this summer, and if it's coming out later this summer, early access, then there's no way they're gonna finish it and release the game.
Mhm.
Especially since Hades won one game of the year.
No,
They're
it
gonna.
didn't.
Oh, it was a game of the year contender. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
They're gonna want to. They're not gonna want to put it up against Zelda again, because that's why they lost the first year. Sorry, because
No,
it came out with
no.
Zelda.
You got a couple years mixed up there, buddy.
Whatever. I
Yeah,
have
Hades came out
Alzheimer's.
many years after Zelda Breath of the
Everything
Wild.
everything blends in together with me.
Yeah.
Whatever, man. Lies of P. That's a game that's gonna get delayed 100%.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
So they showed more gameplay. They showed a little bit more of the story. They showed the different skins that you can use with um, Pinocchio. The world seems interesting though, like the world that he's in. Where did these monsters come from? Why is it like in ruin? Like, and why is he the only one that can save it? These are all questions I need to find out, and I'm hoping you will tell me, Daniel, when you play this game. Um,
Maybe I could tell you I've already played the demo for it.
oh, nice.
Um,
How is it?
it's I don't like these types of games. I don't like
Uh,
Souls games.
oh, it's a Souls game. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I went in there and I was just like, I know I'm not gonna like it, but I was like, I do like the concept
Mm-hmm.
of it, so I was like, let me go in there. I went in there and it's a Souls game, so I was like, it's
Okay.
not for me. I mean, I know people who
I mean,
like
Souls games usually rate well. I mean, I'm talking about
lately.
our yeah on our
Yeah.
LWGF VGL S3.
No, yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
Souls games has become one of the most popular franchises within the
yeah.
past like 3, 4, no, maybe 5 years, I would say.
Okay.
So it's like before that, like nobody gave a shit about those
Hmm.
games, and there was like a small fan base, and then the
Yeah.
fan base has just grown, especially with Elden Ring coming out last year. Everyone's like, "Oh fuck yeah, they're all about
Yeah.
this." So, and we're gonna be getting more Souls games, but
Hmm.
it's cool. I mean, from what I took of it, in terms of story,
I
a
kind
lot
of
of the
love how.
monsters. Yeah, go
Sorry to
ahead.
cut you off. I just kind of love how like one game creates like almost a genre or like makes a genre so it's so known for that genre that that genre becomes
Like the
that
major thing. Like look at PUBG. PUBG did battle
and
royale,
then you
and then
got
now look at
Metroidvania,
Fortnite.
right?
Yeah,
Like
Metroidvania. Yeah,
Metroid and then like Castlevania,
yeah.
the side scroller type um action and dungeons and all this.
I
So it's just
wish.
like
Yeah, I was gonna say I wish RPGs got that respect,
oh
but they don't because like
yeah.
RPG is like, oh, it has RPG elements. Now it's just a fucking video game.
Yeah.
Like everything has RPG elements in every fucking game now
Yeah.
because RPGs are like the best.
Hmm.
But I don't know.
Sorry to cut you off before. Go
No,
ahead.
you're good. I was just saying, in terms of the monsters, unless I'm mistaken, a lot of them were like Geppetto's failed recreations.
Ooh, interesting.
So I did see a lot of that, and then
So
I
Geppetto's a mad scientist.
I don't
Interesting.
know. I don't know if that's the case. I mean, maybe he's just a guy who tried and he fucked up. But I don't know. I played a little bit. I got to the first boss, and this game is this type of game is a thing where it's like, oh, you go up against bosses, they kick your ass, and you try like 30 more times. You go in there, you beat them, and you feel amazed. You're like, oh, I did that. I accomplished that. I went up against the first boss. He beat me like three or four times. I went back and I finally just barely beat him because I'm not good at these games. And after I beat him, I was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I turned it
Yeah.
off, deleted it. And I was like, I don't feel accomplished. I was like, the next
Yeah.
boss is gonna be hard in this. Fuck
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm not trying to do this. Even when I was playing Jedi Survivor, I finished the game, and it's just like I don't like that type of gameplay. I realized like I
Yeah.
enjoyed the game, I enjoyed the story. It's just I fucking just get the fighting out of there, dude. It's like I don't want to do it. Like their lightsaber is cool and all this, but it's just like I don't want to do it. Like there was one point where I was like close to the ending of that game. I was like, fuck it. I just put the difficulty literally all the way down. It's like I just want to see the ending. I don't want to have a
Yeah.
challenge. I just want to see how it ends. And it's like I could have played on whatever level and I would have beaten it. But I was just like, I don't want to fight for it. Just show me the
Yeah. Yeah.
fucking game. So I don't know. That's just my take on.
I just remember when this game got announced like last year, you were super duper excited for it. I
No,
guess
yeah, and
before you knew
it's
it was a Souls
still
game.
no.
Yeah.
They mentioned that day it was a
Oh,
Souls
okay.
game. We knew that. I was like, I remember saying this might be worthy of me trying it because I do like the Jedi
Yeah.
Fallen Order Jedi Survivor games. Those are Souls games.
Oh,
Those
okay.
are
Yeah.
those are Metroidvania Souls games. And I
Really?
was like, yeah, it's a Metroidvania because you have to get powers to go back to unlock new areas, and it's a Souls game because
Yeah.
literally it's a Souls game. You have to rest,
Okay.
and then you respawn enemies. You go back. That's literally a Souls
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, and I was like, I like that for the most part. But I was like, Liza P. I was like, maybe I'll like that. I like the Pinocchio franchise.
Hmm.
Fuck it, let me go in there. And it's not. It's too much Souls for me. So
I
it's
wonder if the cricket's gonna be there.
oh yeah, Jiminy Cricket's in there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, literally, he was like one button where it's like he was illuminating like the light for me and shit like that.
Oh, cool, cool, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
everything you think of in Pinocchio
They've
is in
used.
this.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
or I've heard that they're gonna use or something along those lines.
Yeah. That's cool, man. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Hope it gets delayed. Um, Xbox Game Show 2023. So these are all the games that Xbox has announced on their Xbox Games Showcase. 27 games in total. You have like your big ones, Starfield, Forza. They finally gave us a date for Senua's Hellblade, and I
What
was
is the
really
date on that?
upset.
Do we know?
2024, not
Okay.
not an exact date, but they said it's coming 2024.
Yeah,
So
that's expected. Yeah.
I've picked that game like what 3 times already, and
Yeah.
it just does not want
Th-
to come out.
This is
Watch
the
next year.
first time I've believed a sort of a date on this.
I feel like next year, like when we're actually doing the draft, someone else is gonna be able to get this before I do,
Oh yeah.
and it's gonna
I'm
come
I'm
out,
I'm
and it's
gonna
gonna
let you know right now. I'm eyeing this game.
yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Now that it's coming out.
Yeah.
So yeah, then you got Elder Scrolls Online, Necrom,
Fable and Avowed. Don't forget
yeah,
those.
yeah, Fable and Avowed. Star Wars Outlaws was one of my main interests in this showcase. Starfield, I don't know about Starfield. I know it's gonna do great and everything. I almost don't know if I want to play it though. Like it's coming out day one on Game Pass, which is just fucking mind blowing. Um,
I mean, we knew that though. You know.
Yeah, no, I know, but still, for such a huge game, and the only thing with this is it. I don't know. Sometimes these games kind of like feel to me as like this non-gamer who doesn't have a lot of time. Sometimes they seem so time consuming that I always don't want to give them a try
Hmm.
because I might not be like this seemed like very time consuming with like collection of like
Hmm.
resources doing this.
You sure you want to play Outlaws?
And I know the same thing with Outlaws. I saw it's so interesting. I love Star Wars. It's not like a Jedi. You're not controlling a
Yeah.
Jedi.
But it's a Ubisoft Star Wars. That's the thing.
And with the thing about this is like it's dealing with like the syndicates also, which got me really interested. Um, so there's that, but then it's like, all right, this is kind of like it might be like a grind, and I just don't know if I have the grind time
Yeah.
to even try playing these. Um, but yeah, and then you have your Persona 5s like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which I'm pretty sure was like a Dragon 8 that wasn't announced yet without the title.
Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is yeah,
Yeah. So that 8, which is nice because it's the infinite symbol.
sideways.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
is pretty cool that they, whatever. I just thought that was cool. So 27 games was showed on the Xbox Games Showcase, and then you will have what is it, 18, right? Yeah, 6 times 3. 18 games
yeah,
day 1 with Game Pass, including Starfield, Forza Motorsport Senua's Hellblade 2 next year, Fable Unavowed, 2 huge games. That's like
yeah.
crazy to me. Um,
I mean, that entire top for
yeah,
anybody who's not watching a video version, check us out on YouTube, of course. Search those wise guys. But legit, that
yeah,
entire top row expected. Like it's like we already knew because they're
yeah,
first
yeah.
party games. Honestly, if Aslam, if it's possible, if you could just move us out the way so I can see those
Sorry,
bottom two.
it's
No,
Descent
you're good.
and yeah,
Dungeons of Hintering.
Hinterberg. Yeah.
Hindenburg. I don't fucking remember that. But
Mm-hmm.
honestly, and maybe there's bias, but you look at Persona 3 Reload, Persona
Mm-hmm.
5 Tactica are not
No.
first party games. Those are third party games. Day
Yeah.
one on Game Pass. That's a fucking
No.
mind blowing thing to me. Like all the other ones, they're made
Okay.
by
Yeah.
Xbox. This is not made by Xbox, and it's going to be on Game Pass
Yeah.
day one. That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And Descent also. That's Xbox is not publishing it.
I cannot remember what
I don't
Descent
I,
is.
I don't remember it
I'm
either,
trying. I
but
remember the name. I remember
it's
the
the what is
name.
it, the same ones that are doing Banishers. Those are the developers.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
Don't
Don't
Nod
Nod.
is doing this, but I
Okay.
forgot who the publisher is also. They're the developers, but this is a crazy amount of
Okay.
games going on day one. Like these are
Yeah.
like first of all, this top row is all $70 games,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, this is
Yeah.
what Xbox promised years ago, and people just kept saying, "Where the fuck are the
Well,
games, Phil? Where are the games?" Like, it's like every once in a while he give us like a really good
yeah,
like mid tier game, like Hi-Fi Rush. Everybody loved it.
yeah,
He'll give us Tunic. People love that, but it wasn't
yeah.
like the big hitters. And people are like, "Where are the games? Where are the games? Why won't you delay Alan Wake 2?" And then he finally shows up, and then they showed this, and this is what people are waiting for. Like we already got Forza
Yeah,
day one before. That's cool, I guess. Hellblade, we already got the first Hellblade on Game Pass ever since they bought the
yeah.
rights to Hellblade. Remember that was originally a
Oh
PlayStation
damn. Okay.
exclusive, but yeah, so it's like seeing Starfield on there
Yeah,
is crazy. Fabled, we knew. Avowed is, I mean, legit. That's that's Obsidian making their version of fucking
yeah.
Skyrim, their own version of Elder Scrolls, and that
Yeah.
looks incredible. So yeah, these are
But is
big
is
games
Skyrim
coming
first
day one on
person?
Game Pass. First
Oh,
and
is
third,
Avowed the same?
I
Okay.
believe so. Or I saw a
I
lot
did
of
see a
first
lot of
person. I don't
first
know if there
person. That's
was
why I
third.
wasn't so interested.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but it's like the same. Just how Starfield you can
okay.
switch back and forth
Hmm.
because it's Bethesda. It's the same thing with Fallout
Okay.
and the Elder
Cool. Cool.
Scrolls.
All right. Let's jump into some games. Obviously, Starfield, huge fucking game. We've been waiting for this for
Yeah,
a while now since it was announced.
yeah.
It feels like the like a crazy version of like Mass Effect, probably without the great storyline. Um, but we'll see.
Hang on, these are the people that did Skyrim, sir. They know how to tell a
True,
story.
true. But I don't know. I guess I need to rewatch the stuff because I didn't feel the story come through as much. But
Oh no, their big thing is if you look at Elder Scrolls games, if you look at Fallout games that is not Fallout 76, their big thing is like there is a main story. Yes, the key is the side
mm,
missions. So like Mass Effect has cool side missions, yes, but they're still the
yeah,
main overall arc, story. With Starfield and any of the Bethesda's games, it's always just like here's the
hmm,
different clans. You join the clans, and every one of
yeah,
them has a story. Sometimes they're warring with each other. Sometimes they're different. Like Skyrim, you fucking join the Thieves Guild, and it's the
yeah.
greatest story ever. Then you join like the Warriors Guild, and turns out they're fucking werewolves. You
Nice.
didn't even know. And then it's
Thanks
just like
for
you have
the
the
spoiler,
Magic
Dan.
Guild. When this game came out, fucking November 11th, 2011. Everybody had enough time. But what's it called? You do the Mages Guild and you fucking become like the
Yeah,
Archmage or whatever. It's like, and there's like different. You're finding all these tomes and books and shit. Then you have like the ones where you're resurrecting the demons of like the
yeah,
world and everything. It's like, and these are just side missions. Not one of these is a main mission. You could skip all that, but
Yeah.
why the fuck would you? That's why Starfield, they have that. They're showing like the different groups, different colonies, different planets. This is legit, and I think they said it on GameSpot. Nobody said it, or Polygon. I can't remember. The best way to name this is legit No Man's Skyrim.
No Man's
That's what
Skyrim.
this
Yeah,
game
that
is.
makes sense. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Hey man, I hope it's
Can't
good.
fucking wait.
It looks good, but it's just like
Game of the
yeah,
year contender.
obviously. I just don't know if I'll have the time to even
Oh
scratch
yeah,
the surface on this game if I get to it this decade, but we'll see.
yeah. I'm legit gonna
Hmm.
buy this game, play like a good amount of hours of it, never finish it, be like, it's okay. I already know. I already know, and I'm still fucking excited for this. Because why? Once this is over, in about 30 years, we're getting Elder Scrolls 6. I can't fucking
Yeah,
wait.
hopefully, yeah. Well, didn't Todd Howard said Elder Scrolls 6 might be his last game? Is it Todd Howard?
Yeah. That's not that might be all of our last game.
He said that might be his last. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
They said it. This game, Starfield, was like 25 years of the
Jesus.
making.
Okay. Yeah.
Like,
My God. All
yeah.
right. We were just talking about this. Avowed.
Well, we got this team. They can
Huh?
take over. That's why I said we have this team.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
just take over. Once Bethesda's done doing their games, like, yep, there we go. We
Yeah.
got Obsidian.
Um, you tell me about this game because I don't. I didn't find it interesting
Um,
just because of this. It's first person and
yeah, I don't fuck with first person either, but still, with that being said, what's the term I'm looking for? It's what's it called RPG? What's the setting? What's the setting? A
oh, okay.
fantasy RPG. Thank you,
You're
Aslam. So
welcome.
it's a fantasy RPG. Can't wait for it. The first time they showed off Avowed, everybody lost their minds. Now, many years later, they showed off Avowed again, and people are still losing their minds. Obsidian is the team. They were like the backup team for
Hmm.
Bethesda back in the day. Like Bethesda made their Fallout games. Obsidian made Fallout
Hmm.
New Vegas. And everyone's like, oh, this is better than all the other Fallouts. Then shit happened. Obsidian was bought by Xbox. Years later, Bethesda
Yeah.
was as well. And then they came out with Outer Worlds. You remember Outer Worlds a
Yeah.
few years ago? Everybody loved Outer Worlds, and that was the first time Obsidian was like, "Hey, we're stepping out of Bethesda's shadow. We can do our own version of like Fallout in space, Starfield." And then now they're coming out with this, like, this is our version of Elder
Hmm.
Scrolls, and it looks great. We know that they can make great games. I can't wait. I'm not sure if it's first and third, like we mentioned earlier. I hope it is. I want to say Outer Worlds was, but now that I'm thinking about it, it might have just been first person. But we'll see. I'm still
Yeah.
very much looking forward to this.
Okay. Cool. Hope it does good. We'll see. It's coming out next year, right?
I want to say it's
Yeah, I
2024. Yeah.
think so. All right. Well, that's a game to look forward to drafting next year. All right. Star
Definitely.
Wars Outlaws. We were just talking about this game a little earlier. I love the concept that it has really nothing to do with the Jedi. It is dealing still with the Empire, but it's more on like the Outer Rim, and you're dealing with the syndicates. And she was doing a mission for one of them or somebody, and she gets like burned. Um,
Mhm.
and then she fucks with one of the high officers, I guess, in the Empire. And then she has like this wanted poster on her, and everybody's chasing her.
That wanted level was
Yeah,
cool.
so
Yeah, I
Rusty
like
was
that.
actually telling me, he's like, I think it's cool that they have like the wanted type thing, as in yeah,
Grand Theft Auto.
which is like which is very cool.
Yeah.
I do like that.
A couple of games have done it, but still, it's like it's
Yeah.
about how you do it. Like Cyberpunk did it, and it was
Hmm.
like kind of lame. But it's just like the way they did it, where it's just like you see it pop up on the street, it takes up the whole thing. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that was badass. But like this game seems cool. It's like seamless transition between gameplay
Yeah.
and cutscenes and stuff. I thought that was really cool. Aslam, you pretty much said everything. The setting is cool. I want to say it takes place. I think they said it takes place between Empire and Jedi.
Empire Strikes Back
I
and
could
Jedi
be wrong
Returns.
about that.
Okay, that makes sense. That is the
Yeah,
height of the Empire. Yeah.
exactly. So I want to say that's when it is. And then remember, this is right after the
Yeah.
Battle of Yavin, essentially, or not, maybe a year or two after. But yeah, so it's like this is really the rebellion stepping up,
Mhm.
and like you said, the Empire is like really just like, no, fuck, what happened was a fucking
Yeah.
fluke. We got this. So in that setting where you're like a quote unquote scoundrel in the Outer Rim, it seems cool. It's because it's a Ubisoft game, it's going to be a checklist
Yeah.
game where
Okay.
it's like you talked about earlier, like the reason why I haven't really messed with the newer
Hmm.
Assassin's Creed, is because they seem cool, they seem great, but they are checklist games where it's just like, go out, do
Hmm.
this, then do this, then do this, then do this, and it's like literally just marking off checklists, which can be cool. But I'm in the same boat as you. The older I get, it's not so much just time. It's just like I could be using this time doing something else
Yeah.
I enjoy more. Give me a game like Last of Us where you give
Oh,
me a full immersive story.
yeah.
You tell me the story. Don't make me go out there and do a checklist.
I'm
But
okay with
it's
going
Star
out
Wars.
there and developing the story, which is kind of what you do in Last of Us, but you're not like
Mhm.
doing like errands. I don't like errands anymore.
Yeah, and exactly, and that's the thing where it's just like I feel like as we get older, that's something that kind of
Yeah.
just happens. I'm noticing a lot of people like that. The reason why I couldn't mess with Horizon,
Uh,
3 words,
Forbidden West.
just pick any 3 words. It's a fucking Horizon game. Horizon Forbidden West. That's one where I didn't gel with. Great game, but I was just like, go do this to do this to do this to do this. And it was like great story, but I was just like, I
Yeah.
don't want to do a
I
checklist.
haven't played a video
You
game
know?
since God of War Ragnarok because that was the last time I
Yeah.
had time. And then today, for the first time, I put in the disc of Spider Man so it can start
Oh,
loading and
I
stuff and download
I
everything
like
and
that. I like that.
update
Yeah.
and do the updates and whatever it needs to do.
Dude, when I finish Spider-Man 5, I can't wait for you to tell me how that game is.
Yeah, yeah. So, yeah, I might start playing Spider Man in the next couple months.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see.
Which it's funny. That's a checklist game, but you don't have to do
Sure,
all the
but you
checklist
also
stuff.
told
You can
me
just do the
it
story.
wasn't that long of a game. Like you said it's like what 18 hours or something. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's why I chose
yeah,
that one instead of because
sounds
I
right.
have also I forgot that I bought Horizon Forbidden West. Horizon. Sorry, I said Verizon.
No,
Horizon Forbidden.
I heard for fries and to be
I probably
honest.
tried to say Verizon and Horizon at the same time.
Yeah,
But yeah, I have
no, you're good.
Horizon
Spider-Man's a good
Forbidden
call.
West, and I was like, I'm not. That's too big of a game. I don't want to play that right now. I was like, let me
Yeah,
just ease into it again with Spider
the
Man.
way, yeah, because it's like 18 to 20 hours. I know you like to take your time with games, but honestly, you'll I feel like you'll
Yeah,
do
I
pretty
think I'll
good
be
with
able
that.
to do it quick. Also, like I want to play Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but like I don't. I'm not gonna have time for that
No,
shit.
that's your last game. Todd Howard's like this. My
Yeah,
shit ain't for him.
Jesus. I mean, Breath of the Wild took me a whole year, so I don't even know how long this
Yeah,
one will take me.
but you did the
Sure,
whole
I
thing.
did.
A
I
lot of
did
people
do the whole
didn't.
thing.
That's what I'm saying. You don't give yourself enough credit. You're more of a gamer than
Yeah,
most
I
people.
guess I just don't play as many games as people. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, the average gamer is like, I'm gonna go play Call of Duty and then Madden or FIFA.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that's the
I
average
can't even.
gamer,
I tried that with
and yeah, they
Xbox where
don't
I
even know what
downloaded
other
one of the
game.
football games, and
I enjoy them. There's
no,
nothing
there's
against
nothing.
those
I
games. If
played
you're
it
one of
for
those
like an
gamers, that's
hour,
cool.
and then I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like I went to the
I
skills
just got
thing, learned a
NBA
new skill, how to
2K23.
like
It's
kind
like
of how to pass the
yeah,
defense and just grab someone. And I played a game, used those
yeah,
skills.
yeah.
It was like I beat them really bad, and I was just like,
Mhm. Got to up the
and
difficulty
then I was
again.
just like, nah, fuck it. And like it's just like it wasn't
Yeah,
that. I don't want to up the difficulty. I don't care enough to up the difficulty and become the greatest like Madden
makes
player.
sense.
Like you know what I mean? It's just it was.
No,
I had
no,
fun for
no,
like an hour,
no.
and then I
Just
was like,
make
all right, I'm
just
done
for a
with
little bit
this.
of a challenge. Yeah,
Yeah. All right,
yeah.
sorry. Next game, South of Midnight. Now I put this game on here because of just like they only showed a trailer. They didn't show any gameplay or anything. But the trailer was very intriguing. It seemed like it was taking place in the Louisiana Bayou. It seemed like there was like voodoo happening. Like this guy looks like what I don't know if there's an
Baron
it is
Samedi.
that's his name.
Yeah, he's reminiscent of Baron Samedi. Not exactly, but a Baron Samedi
Yeah,
like type
it's like
character.
that and like I don't know why like something like Doctor Midnight or I don't know. Um,
Okay.
But yeah, it has like a Louisiana vibe. This girl was coming up and asking him. He's huge compared to her, and like
Yeah.
then this creature monster comes up behind her, and she has this like crystal or something that she's uses to start fighting. But I don't know. The trailer itself seemed interesting enough. If there's voodoo going on, magic, like if it's taken. It gave Louisiana Bayou vibes, so that's why I found it interesting. He's playing the guitar.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, it just gave me those interesting vibes, and I can't wait to see more next year about this game. See if it's actually going to be what I'm thinking, or like the
Yeah.
tree with the bottles kind of look interesting. I'm wondering what's that about, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, this is legit a
Yeah, yeah,
wait and see
same.
for me. It's like there's so many games coming out this year and
Hmm.
next year I'm interested in. I was like, I don't have enough time to really focus. Like I saw the trailer, I was like, all
Yeah,
right, it's a trailer. I have really, it's not good, it's not bad, it's
yeah,
kind of just there. I was like, I got other shit to worry about. Next time they mention something,
yeah,
just win me over. That's pretty much where I'm
exactly.
at.
All right. Next up, Accessibility Summer Showcase. Dan, you wanted to talk about this specifically, so I'm gonna let you take over.
Absolutely. So, I don't know if I said it on the before we started officially recording or not, but in my opinion, the Xbox showcase was like the best one. But my favorite one was the accessibility show summer showcase. The first time they've ever done one. And it was really cool, man. They partnered with like Able Gamers, which is it's a I guess you could say a company where they go out there and they promote accessibility in gaming and they help people who have accessibility needs and they do a lot of counseling for developers who are making games to make sure that they have specific accessibility needs for gamers. And it was cool, man. There were like so like I was talking about to me the summer game fest whatever the fuck E3 season is not so much about the games. Like of course I love the games. It's kind of like how things are presented. This showcase was like one of the best well-paced showcases I've ever seen. Like very very well paced. There was like no lulls in it, and the stuff they showed off, they focused a lot not just on the games but the menus because of accessibility. And I'm a big menu guy. Anytime I get a new game, I legit turn it on, go into options, go into settings, what have you, and I check the menus and I adjust them to my liking. That's the first thing I do in every video game. Most people don't do that, but it's cool, man. They show how there's people who are deaf but they want to play a game, and then you'll see a game where it has audio cues. So if you walk in water, a thing literally pops up. It's like, oh, you hear splashing sounds. Or they could turn on a thing where it's just like, if you want to try to find like collectibles and you have like a lot of difficulty hearing, basically a sound pops up or a visual of a sound pops up and tells you, hey, there's a collectible over here. Or if you're having trouble, you can't hold a controller, you could turn off haptic controls. You could change things for high or low contrast according to your vision. There's some games that are legit blind people can play where it's like uh,
Mm,
text to speech, and you could kind of, and they just tell you the whole
nice.
fucking game, and like you decide off of that. It's like so many things I never
Yeah.
thought of, and we've talked about like the different
Hmm.
controllers that they have, but it's like they have some games where it's like legit one person was just like, hey, they broke their hand or something, and they're like, I wanted to play a game a bunch of times where even if you're not like disabled, but if you have an injury for a short period of time, you want to play. How do you play? And she said that she was upset, so she actually made a game where you could play with anything. You want to play on a controller? Sure. One hand on a controller or two? Doesn't matter. You want to play on mouse or keyboard? You want to do both? Sure. Anywhere in the keyboard? Absolutely. It's like literally any way you could think of playing the game, you can play
Yeah.
the game. And it's just like these are some of
They
the
need to
coolest
make it
things out
as
there.
versatile as possible for all the different ailments and
Yeah.
situation a person has. So that
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. That's fantastic.
Dude, I mean, and it's like it's really cool. I saw there was like a lot of views that watched this video too. Obviously, not as much as the other ones, but it's one of those things where it's like accessibility in gaming is growing. Like it's
Hmm.
making more noise out there, and I love that. I love
Yeah.
that people are able to see that. So this is one thing I highly suggest for everybody, even if the games don't win you over. And they have like popular, like fucking Sniper Elite 5 was in there, like talking about accessibility. So it's like you have popular games in there too,
Yeah.
but it's a really cool concept, and the fact that they bring on these people who have like disabilities to help consult on the games.
Yeah.
Like one guy's legit blind, and he was telling him, okay, he's like, I can play this game even though I'm
Yeah.
blind, and it's a really really cool concept.
It'd be really cool if you have a third party developer that can take games
Hmm.
and make develop accessibility controls for them and release them
Yeah,
for people with disabilities.
Able Gamers
Instead,
kind of does that, where
yeah,
it's like they for their needs. Yeah,
instead of like developers having to concentrate on a whole other thing and
yeah,
all of them doing different things, there needs to be kind of like almost like an industry standard, kind of like in architecture,
yeah.
because that there's laws passed where there needs to be a standard for people with accessibility issues.
Mm.
So if that's possible, if like the gaming interest industry as a whole can kind of like come up with like an accessibility controller or some type of standard,
Yeah,
and then like this third party um,
could do like modifications on it
organization
or something. Yeah,
either can do modifications or can kind of oversee so that every game coming out is
yeah,
has accessibility features, um, so that any game can be played by the
anyone.
handicap.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that would be fantastic. Hopefully that eventually happens.
yeah.
Hey, Jeff Keighley, take care of it, bro.
Well,
Um,
we're moving closer to it. Like a few years ago, Xbox came up with this like initiative
yeah.
where if you're an indie studio and if you're in no way affiliated with Xbox, that's fine. They have like accessibility like people. You have people
Mhm.
like Steven Spawn, who's like the face of
Yeah.
able gamers, and then you have, I can't remember his name right now, but the blind gamer, he's another one who goes out there and he consults on games. Like these are people that work with Xbox and they're like, hey, if you're an indie developer, we understand you have a small team, you can't really
Mhm.
do this.
You can't really
Part
afford to do
Yeah,
stuff like this.
it's like it's like quote unquote partner with them, but Xbox isn't producing their games in any way. It's just like, hey, we're gonna help you because we want to make gaming available
Yeah.
for everybody and stuff like that. So it's a good move on Xbox and on Phil Spencer, of course.
Yeah.
But we're getting there little by little. It's just we're cool, and they came up with this phrase I thought it was like the coolest catchphrase that they had,
Hmm.
and one guy even said it where he was just like, when it comes to like accessibility, it's important to have consultants who are disabled, and he legit said it's like there's a catchphrase that they have going on where it's just like, don't make a game about us without us. I'm like, that
Yeah,
makes
that makes
perfect
sense. Yeah.
fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like, so really
Don't
cool conference.
assume how
Yeah,
someone with a disability is gonna interact with the game.
yeah,
Like, just have them interact with the game and find the best way to uh, find an intermediary,
yeah.
whatever device that needs to be used to get them to be able to
Yeah.
play.
And hey,
So,
and like I said, I'm selfish. I want to be able to play games for as long as I am alive. You
hey,
know.
man, that
So
makes a lot of sense. Why not?
yeah.
Alrighty. So that's it for like the main games and things that we wanted to talk about. There's some honorable mentions that I wanted to mention, the things that had really interesting concepts that I thought were that could be really good. I mean, I don't have like a good track record with picking those for the LWGF EGL, but hopefully these will be future successes.
Hey, if it stands out to you, that's really what it comes down to.
So Sandland,
Trash.
the only reason why it was interesting to me is because it's Akira Toriyama. Obviously, if you know the art style, you
Yeah.
see it. It's Dragon Ball Z, right? And this is a manga that he wrote, and they turned it into a video game. It looks interesting. It looks kind of like open world. Um, Will I play this? I don't know. I don't have much time to play it. I just thought it looked interesting because it resembled Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah.
and depending on how they make this game and if it's like an open world adventure, whatever, maybe Dragon Ball Z can become an open world adventure,
They already
and
did that. Like,
but a successful one.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Dragon Ball Z Kakarot came out like 2 years ago. People loved it.
yeah. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
But how did that game play? Like the story wise.
I didn't. I played just the beginning of it. It wasn't my thing.
Uh-huh.
It's legit an open world game. You start off the Saiyan Saga. You're taking Gohan out fishing,
Oh, nice.
and then you're
Okay,
teaching him how to fish, and then you kind of proceed through the story of Dragon Ball Z.
okay.
So I mean, it's a great idea. I love this. I mean, we
Yeah,
almost everybody loves the story of Dragon Ball. So
yeah. It's just like it
of
would
course,
be.
I wanted to go back to Dragon Ball and
Yeah,
do that. Of course, that's my favorite. That's one of my favorite too. But
I'd be down for that too. It's just like it
yeah,
would be interesting to see it like executed in a way where it would like make making like as people who grew up watching it would be kind of like one of the best games to kind of relive it as a video
oh yeah,
game. That would be fucking amazing.
I
But
would love that. I would suggest to you to give it a shot to Dragon Quest. It's also created by Toriyama, same art
Dragon
style.
Quest,
Yeah, and
yeah,
Dragon Quest
the
is a very popular
anime, yeah,
franchise. Yeah,
yeah. I've seen about it, but I it was never
yeah,
it never pulled me in.
I got you.
Um, All right, next game.
This Fanga,
Lisfanga. What interested me in this game is the time powers,
really cool.
and it was just like it's a concept like we've seen time powers with obviously Prince of Persia. I'm sure there's other games that use time powers. Me personally, I haven't seen time powers used like this, and it was very intriguing. And strategically, it could be like a very cool game to play. Story wise, I don't know much about the story, but yeah, it was just like something that popped out to me that I thought was very interesting.
It this game looked really cool. I'm glad you put it in here because I did forget about it.
Yeah.
Time Looper is what I think it's called. There's a game that I played
Mm.
on. Well, no, it was actually before Game Pass was invented. It was a Xbox Games with Gold game years ago,
Hmm.
and it was cool because it's like you had multiple different characters you would play as, and they
Hmm.
had different abilities. And then you would similar to this, like you would play as a character, you would die, you'd go back to a certain save point, play as a different character, but
Hmm.
your first character, everything they did lives on as like a shadow person,
Oh, okay.
and every moves they make mattered. So if they shot a gun, that gun still shoots in this new timeline, and then you
Mm.
keep going, which is similar to what they're doing here.
Yeah.
But this is like on a much, nah, I wouldn't say much, but this is on a larger scale. Like this looks like an indie. The other one was looked a lot more like an indie, but I had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
This looks really cool. It kind of looks, it has like that Hades feel.
It
Um,
does. Yes. Yeah.
and then you throw in this time element. I thought it was really, really cool. I want to see how this game does. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Henry.
Oh, Henry, glad you're here, buddy. Happy birthday. All right. Next up on the honorable mentions, cities skyline. Now I know this is weird to
You're
have
an
this on
architect.
here, and I am, and the reason that's exactly the reason why I put this on.
Mhm,
I feel like this can become a tool that architects can use depending on how this thing plays out.
mhm,
From what they showed is like you can build out a city, you can build out highways, roadways, and
mhm.
like almost kind of play a simulation
No.
and see how these things work. And for master planning, if this game can accurately predict like movements of like people and how things are,
Mhm,
this can become like a very interesting tool. Now combine this with some AI, and man, this could be a game changer for like city planning because it could be done on a very quick basis.
yeah.
Um, and obviously the shapes of the building or whatever don't really matter. It's about city planning is more about like where the roads are gonna go. Shapes and forms of buildings can come later. You can plan out parks. You can plan out all these things and see and like kind of like play a simulation and see if it'll actually play out well or not play out well. And now I don't know if that's the game's like if that's how actually it would play out, but it just seemed very interesting, and I'm gonna look at this when it comes out to see how it plays and see how
I mean,
people use it.
from what you're describing, I think that's literally the first game. You know, this is a sequel.
Yes, I know it
Yeah,
says
so it's
two. Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like I played the first one.
Hmm.
I didn't like it. It's not my type of game. It's a
Yeah.
very very popular franchise. People love this franchise.
Yeah.
And from what I remember, yeah, I was like making like a road. There's like you have to start off with a road or some shit, and then from there it's just like oh the road has to do a certain thing, and it's like cars wouldn't be able to travel across it accurately or something like that. And then
Hmm.
once it kind of like got into the nitty gritty, I was like fuck this game. I'm gonna play something that's fun.
If the
But
game is telling you, I don't know about that, but like, I mean, obviously there's like certain rules and
I
that you
honestly, I
have to
might
be
have been
baked in.
doing a tutorial that I couldn't get past.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know, but it's just like
Yeah.
I'm
I
pretty sure it's on Game Pass. The first one, you can check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to do some more research into
Yeah,
this, but I don't know. This one looked very interesting. I yeah, obviously I knew it was a sequel, but I
yeah.
didn't look into the first one. But yeah, that's why I kind of wanted to just mention this one. It's just the concept of it. If there is something like a simulation like this, and if you can kind of combine AI
Mhm.
as like machine learning and can gather information from like past city planning and what was successful throughout history and what wasn't successful, you have successful cities like like Tokyo, like obviously like because it's a newer city, like London, older city. New York is an older city, so like they have like things that work, things that don't work, and then people take that and make newer cities, kind of like Dubai and like all these other like most of the newer cities in the Middle East take from these older cities and make it better.
Mhm.
So it's just a very interesting thing that I wonder if this can be used as a like I know it's a game, but I
Yeah,
wonder if it can actually become used as a tool.
yeah.
I don't know
Like
if it'll
Flight
be
Simulator essentially can be
yeah.
done for that. Yeah,
I don't know if like now I don't know if this will be used as a serious tool. But it can be used as a tool nonetheless. Maybe on a student level. Um,
no,
so that'd be interesting. Baby steps.
this game looks ridiculous.
I just I don't know what to say about this game, man. but it really had me intrigued. It was so dumb, but it was hilarious at the same time. I
Mm.
was just dying watching this trailer.
This
And
was Devolver, right?
yeah,
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 yeah, it makes
especially
sense.
this part right here,
Hmm.
where he knocked out the little
Little,
rock
yeah,
uh like
um,
stack
yeah,
that he had made, because they do sculptures like that, like rock
yeah.
stacks. And this guy comes out, he's like, "Why'd you knock that?" And like that stupid conversation was just so goddamn funny. And yeah, I don't know. It was just hilarious. Will I ever play this game? No, but it's
Yeah.
just I had to mention it.
Do you want
It
to
was
tell
too
people
funny.
what the game is, like how it works?
You control each leg independently, and you're trying to walk, and this person
That's
just
legit the
fucking
game.
falls all the time,
Yeah.
and it's so hilarious. It's like, do you control it fast so you can kind of like stay on balance, almost like riding a bike? Like you can't slowly pedal,
Hmm.
especially if you're on level ground. You have to pedal at a certain speed for it to keep going straight. So I was like, is it that, or is it like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck this game is, but it's
I
ridiculous.
kind of hope it's like oh man, I forgot what it's getting. What's yeah? It's gonna sound like I'm describing a fever dream, Aslam, but maybe you know. What's the game where it's like you have the guys who are walking and they have to like stack? Oh, Mount Your Friends. Never mind.
Mm.
Mount Your Friends, where you have to like you move your character and they kind of like you can move your every limb individual of each other, but
Hmm.
you have to like climb and then stack on top of each other, and whoever's at the highest point wins. And there's a timer, and
Hmm.
as you're doing it, the person's penis is just flapping around all over the place. It's like very very visual in their shorts. Fun game.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah,
All right, next up, from Future Games Showcase, um, uh, I have the name of this
I
game.
don't know
One
what the fuck
second.
this is. Like I visually I remember it, and I was like, I hope Eslov knows because I don't remember a goddamn thing about
I do
this.
remember this. It's called
All
the
right.
Bookwalker Thief of
Uh-huh.
Tales, and this person is kind of like made of pages of a book,
Mhm.
and then he can jump into different stories. He can pull out a book and jump
Okay.
into
Yeah,
different
yeah,
stories. So here's a description. It's a gorgeous cinematic trailer for the the Bookwalker Thieves of Tales. Setting up the premises of this eclectic action adventure, players will dive into the variety of uh, book worlds and attempt to steal historic literary items to restore the protagonist's ability to write. The Bookwalker is coming to PC, yeah, blah blah blah, on June 22nd. So this should be coming out soon, actually,
yeah. Mhm.
within the next week.
Mhm.
So we'll see how this does. But I don't know. I just thought it was a very interesting concept. It's kind of like action adventure Blue's Clues for adult. Instead of jumping into pictures, you're jumping into books. And if you're like a big reader or history buff or whatnot, I feel like this would be interesting. I don't know. I just thought it was pretty cool.
I would have gone with Mario 64.
I don't play video games, so it's like,
No, you went with Blue's Clues instead.
yeah, this it's because it's something I watched back in the day. So,
I was always
um,
too old for that. I don't know.
yeah, when I there was days where I was like super goddamn bored, and that was the
No.
only thing that was on. Unfortunately,
I saw like an episode or two. I would yell at the man in the green shirt. I didn't
yeah,
like
he
him.
was very annoying. It was very
Yeah.
pedophilic. Um, all right, next up, again, future games show. This precinct. Um, this was another very interesting concept to me. Um, with this, you're playing as a cop. You're getting into your car, doing car chases. You're kind of walking the beat as well, and like you catch someone. Like the trailer, like he saw someone doing a crime. He was like he yelled to stop, and like the person fought him and started running, and like crazy shit was happening in the trailer. And I just thought it was very interesting that you actually play it. Now, I don't know if there's an actual story behind it or you're just kind of doing these random, like, Grand Theft Auto
Mm.
missions, or like it kind of looked like it plays like Grand Theft Auto
Mhm.
without the missions. I don't know if there's an actual story.
Is this the one that played? Because I watched Future
Yeah, it's
Game Show, but
funny.
it's a blur. But it's is this the one that played like the Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2, like the OGs, where it's like the top down view?
Oh yeah, so here's
Yeah. So
the
that yeah.
so it's funny because it actually the description talks about Grand Theft Auto evoking the classic top-down
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto games.
Yeah.
The Precinct is a 1980s sandbox crime adventure where you play
Oh.
as a rookie beat cop, Nick Cordell. Uh, yeah, and it was the world premiere trailer.
Yeah, this ain't
So
for me.
no, it might not be, but I don't know. It just looked interesting. Now the top down thing kind of feels like it's going to be confusing for me. I'm not
Mm,
very good at these. There's certain things, certain styles that like I kind of become retarded when playing them, but
mm.
and I feel like this is one of them. But I don't know. It's just it seemed like interesting. If there's an actual like decent story behind this about this rookie cop, this could be a good game. But if it's just that, if you're just a rookie cop kind of doing random shit, um,
I'm pretty
then
sure it's gonna be think Grand Theft literally think Grand Theft Auto, where like there's probably a
yeah,
story, but it's not. You don't have
yeah,
to follow it. And
yeah,
one thing I think would be cool. I don't know if they showed this or not in the trailer. I don't remember. Take inspiration from Grand Theft Auto as you're driving around doing something. You see, hey, at this location, there's a 5-star one at level, and you are the cop that goes to that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like that would be
It
something that's
might
cool.
have that honestly
Yeah,
because while he's in the car, there were calls being made.
yeah,
It's like there's a robbery in progress. There's this
yeah,
in progress. There was a shootout in progress, which is what's happening
yeah.
now, and you kind of go help out the other cops. But
Yeah,
yeah,
trust me. From my understanding of how the game industry works, legit, if they legit put stars, legit 5 stars in the
yeah,
game, that would bring this up a solid like 10 to 15 points. Just by putting the stars, like, whoa, there's a one at level, but you're the cop responding.
yeah,
Like, I can already see people like, oh, that's a cool concept. The rest of the game, keep it exactly the same. Put that
yeah,
in, you're getting about 10, 15 points higher.
yeah. Um, but yeah, coming soon. So I don't know when it's releasing, but
Yeah.
and I think is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last. No, yeah, is this the
Mhm.
last one? No, it's not the last one.
Mhm.
Way of the Samurai, um, which is
This is one with the cat.
yeah. Oh, sorry, the Spirit of the Samurai, a stunning stop motion horror Metroidvania inspired by Japanese mythology. It looked interesting. Stop motion was it looked a little cool. I usually don't like stop motion or claymation, but in
Mhm.
this it kind of looked like a uh, obviously Metroidvania is a side scroller, but the 3D
Not
effect of
necessarily.
it. Well, I mean, okay, maybe not, but this one was, and
Yeah.
it had like this nice 3D effect, almost kind of looked like
It,
a.
it, it did one of those like weird I forgot what it's called. I think it's a 2.5D. It's referred to
Yes,
as.
yes, yes, 2.5D.
Yeah.
I kind of enjoyed that. It looked cool, but yeah, I'm not a Metroidvania person, so it's just like it was samurai
Yeah.
mythology
Hey
concept,
man, you
cool,
like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order? It's a
true.
Metroidvania.
Um, but I think with this one, no, this is not the one with the kitsune. There was another one, but I
Yeah,
didn't put it
that
on
was
here.
a weird one.
Yeah, that was from Capcom. Very weird, but
Yeah.
and then last but not least, Viewfinder.
Mm.
It's a picture puzzle game, and I don't know this very interesting concept. Like lining up the picture, then kind of like clicking for it to take, and then it becomes 3D, and you're solving puzzles that way. You're
Mm.
taking pictures of something, using it, rotating it, creating like ledges, and you know, so you can walk through this world, and you can if there's a picture there you can kind of like go into it. Like it was very weird, but it was
Mm.
very interesting. Like it's just visually, especially for photographers. I feel like
Mm.
a lot of if photographers play games or whatnot, but I feel like a lot of people are gonna like this game
Mm.
just because it's an interesting puzzle game. It might not take like long to play or whatnot, but I don't know. It was just a very it was very interesting to me.
No,
Yeah.
it's a cool concept. There's a game that came out a little while ago called Superliminal,
Hmm.
which had a similar thing where the cool thing with that, it's like it's literally based off of how you view your surroundings. So of course, if you see something further away, it's smaller. But
Hmm.
like the way this game works is like you would pick something up, and then if you move it closer, like right now, if I were to look at my mic
Yeah.
and I bring it closer to my face, and then I place it,
Hmm.
when I back up, it's legit giant size
That
now in the
size.
world.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that like Viewfinder does that, and then they do it with pictures.
Hmm.
I heard a couple of people who did play this at Summer Games Fest, like after the conferences
Hmm.
and stuff, that they I haven't heard one person say a bad thing about this game. Like people
Nice.
are amazed by this game.
Yeah, it looked amazing. So
Yeah,
I was really intrigued by it.
yeah. Aslam, as we were talking, there was
Mm.
one game in particular I did remember I wanted to talk about. Is it
Yeah,
okay
go
if I
for it.
share my screen real fast?
Yeah, yeah. I'm done
Um,
anyways. This is
yeah, I know this. I was waiting for you to
uh,
do the last one here, so let me find it. There it is. Okay, so this is a game that just every time I look at it, just makes me laugh.
Oh, is it the okay. No, this is not the one I was thinking of.
This is Power World. Um,
The Pokemon game with
they just
guns.
legit ripped off of Pokemon. Like they
Yep.
didn't even attempt
Nope.
anything. Like I remember hearing about Power Worlds a little while ago. I remember they
Yeah.
showed a trailer for it, and I was like, "That's funny." And like everybody forgot about it, and then they brought it back. Like, no, we're really making this. And
That
it's
shit
like
was funny. I was like,
at first they were just like showing like, oh, these are like images that these are animals that kind of look like Pokemon. As the
mhm.
trailer progresses, like, dude,
No, these are
that's a
Pokemon.
fucking Pokemon. Like, you
Yeah,
didn't even
yeah.
change anything.
No, no, that's a Pokemon.
And I love how they have like the Pokemon style, but the guns are super realistic looking.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the funniest fucking thing in the world to me.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, so I just want to share that real quick. It comes out next year. I am very
Nice.
curious to see how this does
Yeah.
and if they get sued. Because
Maybe
it's
they got
funny.
permission.
Dude, I don't know. Maybe Pokemon Company let them because Nintendo is like the most strict company out
I
there when it
know
comes to stuff
it
like
is.
that. But
Yeah.
Pokemon Company was like, ah, fuck it. Everybody knows what a Pikachu is.
Yeah.
But one thing I did want to mention real quick, two other major ones, the like conferences real quick, were the Ubisoft Forward,
Hmm.
Capcom Showcase. Honestly, the only thing that stood out of these, I don't really give a shit about the game. Avatar, Frontiers of Pandora.
Yeah.
The game looked cool. It was like a really cool concept and everything. The setting is
Hmm.
where you're losing me. It's the Blue People Avatar.
I did
There's
not give two shits about that game.
That's what I'm saying, and it sucks because it's basically Far Cry
Mm.
set in Avatar. People love Far Cry. There are some people that like this franchise, so I could see this game doing well. Obviously they showed off Star Wars Outlaws, and then they showed off a couple other things that weren't really. I mean, a bunch of different Assassin's Creeds and some other stuff. Exdefiant. Then they had
Mhm.
people play music for Skull and Bones,
Oh
but
yeah.
you had that, and then Capcom.
Hmm.
Honestly, the only thing worth talking about in Capcom, in my opinion, granted they had games, was the Pragmata
Mm.
trailer where
Mm.
they showed off Pragmata a little while ago, maybe two
Yeah.
years ago when the PlayStation 5 first debuted, they showed off Pragmata. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is a really cool looking game." They're like, "It comes out in 2022, got delayed to 2023." And then this one, it legit doesn't have a date, but in the
No.
trailer, it legit says we're sorry. And it's the funniest fucking thing because
Yeah.
they didn't have to do that. Now they're going to be a meme for forever. This is something we're forever going to talk about. Like, hey, remember when this game said we're sorry, and then
Yeah.
it said 2022 crossed out, 2023 crossed out, that it was like a question mark. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. Capcom didn't need to do a showcase at all. Let's be real.
They didn't. It was a waste of time.
It was a waste of fucking time. They had some games that are interesting, sure, and Kunitsu
Yeah,
Gami
that's
Path
the
of the
one with
Goddess. That's
the
the one.
kitsune was
Yeah,
talking and shit, and like all these Japanese horror
and my
creatures.
problem is I don't know what the fuck that game is. They showed the same trailer twice. I watched it both times. I still don't understand what the fuck that game is.
Nope, me either.
I don't
Yeah.
understand. Is it a fighting game? Is it a card game? Or is it like a time strategy game? What the
Yeah.
fuck is it? I don't know. But it's something. It's there. But yeah, those are two ones I want to mention real quick. Honestly, we didn't have to have them, but
No,
it is what it
that's all
is.
right.
Yeah, that's all
Whatever.
I want to mention.
All right, that's it for our coverage of.
How would you rate them?
Honestly, I'm still thinking, but I feel like it's tied for me between like Xbox and future games
Well,
showcase.
future games, really.
They had a lot of interesting concepts in the games that they
Okay.
showed. I just showed a lot of them in the honorable mention. There
Yeah.
was more that I left out, but yeah, man. I mean, like Pacific Drive, they showed it
Mhm.
again, but unfortunately, they didn't show. It says later this year, but like, who the fuck knows at this point? And
Is that the car one?
yeah,
Cool concept. I mean, they showed it. I forgot
yeah,
when. I maybe
last
last
year I
year.
think. Yeah,
But
They had like those that Stray Gods, the role playing musical. For some reason, musical games have been doing really well.
it's the
Uh,
first musical game ever.
no, they don't. Didn't they have like music games? Sorry, not musical, but like music
Oh
games. They
yeah,
had.
there's music based games.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but no, I mean there's a
Um.
couple. Honestly, future game show, I would rank it maybe a 4 out of
Oh, okay.
10. Um,
Yeah. Whatever.
yeah, I
I don't know. I
mean it was
enjoyed the
cool.
stuff. A lot of the
Yeah,
stuff that they showed, like they had some funny shit. They had some really stupid shit.
yeah,
Like you had like the Enchanted Portals, which is kind of like the same style as Mughead. Um,
yeah. That did look interesting.
yeah, Layers of Fear came out already, and that didn't do good. Um, you had Space Gears, which is I don't know, like mech fighting, whatever the fuck.
Um,
Um, but like they had like other interesting shit that I enjoyed. So I don't
yeah,
know.
with me, it was like in terms of presentation, it was okay. They didn't have any big anything that really caught my attention.
I mean, Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah, they didn't have anything big that caught my attention at
Yeah.
all. But
But like
nah,
I was saying, like yeah, we're grading these two different ways. For me, it was kind of
yeah,
like more about like the games and the concepts of the
yep,
games that they showed, and those were the two that intrigued me the most.
no,
Um, like Summer Games Fest showed stuff of other people. Obviously, Xbox showed all their shit, which was they
no,
had a lot of interesting stuff, and then Day of the Devs was eh.
no.
Um,
I mean, it's
it was
cool
yeah.
because it spotlights devs, but
Like I mean,
as a showcase like conference
Hellscape
type
was
thing, it's
really
not
stupid.
there.
I was just like, I don't give a fuck about this.
Yeah,
Eternites, I'm just like, all right, dungeons and dating, whatever.
cool
Um,
concept.
Mars First was kind of funny. I like
Yeah,
that, but that was I was like, whatever. Um, yeah,
yeah. No, I mean, in Day of the Devs, I would. I mean, that's
yeah.
probably a 3 or 4. I mean, it's a Summer Game Fest, like in terms of the big ones, I would legit give that an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would put that. Fucking
I don't know. I'm not gonna like give them a numbered rating, but
yeah,
just like Xbox and
yeah.
uh,
Xbox, I'll give it a solid 9.
yeah, Xbox was up there.
Yeah,
If then for me it would be
yeah.
right under it would be um, the Intel.
No, future game show.
Yeah,
No,
and then the rest kind of just like just drop another 3, 4, and then they can
yeah,
start. Yeah.
yeah, right. I don't know. Like even the accessibility one, I put that one over Xbox. I mean, over PlayStation even. Like I'll
Oh,
give that
okay.
a
Well,
7.
PlayStation didn't really show much, which is
PlayStation,
like
yeah, but that's the thing. They also, I don't know if it's official or not, but supposedly we are getting another PlayStation showcase this year.
hopefully
But
we'll see.
yeah, so they could do something. But I
So
mean,
they can announce
because
shit for next year, so I
yeah,
can put on my list for the LWGF EGL.
there you go.
Getting ready.
But yeah, and then Ubisoft and Capcom,
Yeah,
trash, trash.
it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Um, alrighty. Let's do some final thoughts.
Yeah. So for final thoughts for me, real quick, I'm gonna do wrestling. So next week, I definitely need to have a Powerbomb Weekly because
Hmm.
that's gonna be stuff's gonna happen. So real quick, Forbidden Door is coming up. That's when you have AEW. Cross NJPW New Japan Pro Wrestling together, where they put on the matches and everything.
Hmm.
We're gonna get Bryan Danielson versus Okada. That's a fucking dream match.
Yeah.
These are two men that have wanted to fight each other for years, but because of Bryan Danielson being in WWE under the name Daniel Bryan back in the day, then you had COVID and all these other restrictions. So it's like finally they can actually go to toe. Two of the best wrestlers to ever live fighting. That's going to be incredible. Jungle Boy versus Sonata for the IWG World Heavyweight Championship is weird. And then there's another one I can't remember what it is, but that's going to be Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay, the a rematch, which those are two of the best ever. They're going to knock it down. And this Saturday, the 17th, we're going to have our first ever episode of AEW Collision, where they are doing the quote unquote brand split, where AEW is going to have two brands. This is going to be the CM Punk brand, and CM Punk is making his return on that show. Interesting to see where that's going to go. And then, yeah, so looking forward to that. WWE's been interesting. The Bloodline's breaking up. So you got stuff going on there, but I'll definitely have more for next week.
Nice, nice, nice. Looking forward to it. My final thoughts. I will start playing Spider-Man eventually. I'll keep you guys posted. Thank you for listening to Los Wise Guys podcast. If you like what you hear, please follow us on social media. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, and review. Go check out the Los Wise Guys website. Thank you for listening. Have a great week.